Okay, hi and welcome to Approval Workflow Part 1. For this one here, we'll be talking about how we set up a approval workflow. The second one will be the latter steps in terms of just proceeding through. So, first of all, I have a user here that has a report within a workspace. Now, the approval workflow is based on the approval of the entire workspace, not just the report, but I've just got it down to one report just to make it easier. So, first things first, I click across here in Approvals. I then create a new workflow. Now, over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this a lot easier because I have multiple users that we're going to use to simulate this. So, first of all, I'm logged in currently as TO1, which I'm running on Chrome Incognito, which will be the approval creator. Now, as part of this process, I'm going to have two other users who are the first level participants, and then another two users who are the second level participants, and one last person who's an observer. Now what I've done is I've given each of these in a separate browser so you can track them through and see how they're all interacting with each other. The goal is that the approval creator creates a workflow, then the first level participants will then review it. Once they've finished reviewing, then it will flow on to the second level, in which case it will then complete. The observer at all times should have the ability to see what's happening but not interact with it. Now, for today, I'm not going to show anything related to the email notifications, but if you are testing this, you should probably make sure that every one of these users here has an associated email address so you can see that they are receiving notifications, in which case you'd probably go for a simpler test. So let's begin. I'm going to say here that my name for this is video of approval. My description is also video of approval. Description. I go down here into my first level participants and I say that I want my user loadtest02 to be, in this case, an approver. Then I say for loadtest03, then I say for loadtest3, so 3, that I want this user to be a reviewer. Okay, so these are my first level participants. Now there's a little switch here that basically says that we continue when all of these participants have reviewed or any of them. Now for the purposes of today, I'm going to use all. Okay, so I set it to all, which means that both of them have to perform some form of action before our second level participants get the ability to review the workspace. I'm going to say that this is due within 5 days. I then click the add second level and you can see the dialog repeats. So now I'm going to say here that I want to add user 04, and as per this they will become an approver. Then likewise 05 will become a reviewer. Now I'm going to say all again, and I'm going to say that they have to review within 10 days. Now I'm not going to add a third level because I think that's enough for the explanation today, but I am going to add someone who's an observer the whole time. So load test 06. I click save. Now, as soon as you create a workflow, you need to have the ability of creating tasks. Now the tasks drive those users here, these, 4 users, to actually do something. So what we could do is we can click yes, it will create them, or we can click no, and then we can see the rest of the interface. So I click video of approval, and you see here that within my workflow that I've designated, you have a subcategory called tasks. If I click into that, if I click on create tasks, this would have the same impact as clicking yes on the pop-up dialog that we saw earlier. So let me click create tasks. Now what's happening underneath the hood is that on the server side, if I can pull it up for you, what should be kicking off is an associated PDF creation. So let's just wait for that. While that PDF is creating, we can click on View PDF, and we should see that the system comes back with the PDF is still generating. Please check back in a few minutes. At no point should you see a 404 error. So we click OK. Now for the purposes of the approval creator, their point is now done. However, they might want to go off and do something else at this point. So what I'll do is I'll show you a way that they can monitor the approval process. So I click into search, or I use the little drop down here, and I select approvals, and I go and search. Now for this one here, Load Test 01 has only ever done this before, but what I would suggest if you are doing this is that you use the created modified date, set that to today, and that way you can exclusively see the one that you've generated. If I click into this, it will load the approval dialog, but I want to click on the little view here, which gives me the detail. So this is showing now that the approval is in progress. I can see the name of it, the description, the workflow creator, and the started on date. Scrolling through, I can see the pattern by which it will be executed. First level participants, little description there. Load Test 02 is currently hasn't done anything. The approval status is not ticked. Load Test 03 has not reviewed. If I scroll down, second level participants, you can see here that reviewed, approved, not updated. And likewise, there's our observer. Now we might be lucky here. Let's try again to see if the view PDF is working. Excellent. Okay, so we do have a PDF. Let's have a look at that now. If I open this, you can see here that I have my PDF. I have balance sheet approval workspace, the name of my workspace. I didn't give the page a name, but we have the balance sheet coming through. If I scroll down, I can see exactly the same kind of set that I had previously. So, well, in that detail tile that I showed you earlier. So reviewed, approved, as you can see, nothing has happened. Those are showing as pending because I haven't performed any actions. There are no dates associated with these ones here because the second level participants have not been triggered because the first level have not gone ahead. We also scroll down and we can see the associated data for the report. So that's the beginnings of approval. I'm going to stop now and then we'll go through the individual users and how they were affected.